How's it going, people? Hope you're all well. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to Lee Judges TV. I'm your host, Dan Potts, and I'm with Lee Judges, who's over in Turkey. How you doing, my friend?
I'm all good, thank you very much. Dan, I am still buzzing from yesterday. Got to say, big up to the Arsenal fans. I haven't watched the game on TV for a while with the sound, funny enough, because if you do know, when we do the watch-alongs, you have to have the sound down, so you don't get that, or I'm at the game. So, to watch it with the sound and hear the fans for the first time, really, coming through on the TV as you did. So big up to all of you. And of course, I know you was there as well. What a atmosphere. Us Arsenal fans at the moment, are really doing the club proud with the home and away support and the support and the songs that whoever made that one up. Come on.
The best,
it's absolutely, and not only them who made it up, the Arsenal fans at the end. When the players were coming over to the crowd. That was insane. I had goosebumps on all over me watching that this morning. Funny enough, Kevin sent me that this morning, and absolutely sensational day. Big up to all the Arsenal fans that went yesterday. I know it was only 1,000. Was it 1,300? Unbelievable, and big up to every Arsenal fan and yourself, Dan. That was fantastic.
Yeah, it was, man. Absolutely loved it. I've got a bit of a background noise. I don't know if Dave can help out there, but hopefully it's the viewers can't hear it too much.
It might be the air condition. I'll get it turned off. Hold on a minute.
All right, I think it might be that then. I can hear something like that, but that's all good, mate. Listen, no worries, mate. Thank you all for joining us. Smash a like on the video. So many of you in the chat already. Absolutely fantastic performance yesterday from Arsenal. Before we go into it, got to ask you, we are going to go in for the Football Content Awards. So we need you to do us a favour. On the screen, you will see it. Please go to footballcontentawards.com/voting and don't forget to vote for us under the best new content creator. We're going to leave it up on the screen so that people are aware. We need to get voted. We'd love your support. We'd absolutely love you to support the channel, support myself and Lee, and try and get us nominated so that we can at least have a chance of being recognised. Chaitanya, absolute legend, he's voted already. Big up, Chaitanya. Thank you so much, man. Much appreciated. Best new content creator over at Football Content Awards. Please show your support and love so that me and Lee have a great chance of at least getting in the nominations. And of course, gold, silver, or bronze, I believe, is what it is. So that's our kind of target. I'll take a bronze, Lee, to be honest with you. Even a bronze. I want the gold, but I'll take it.
It'd be fantastic if we can just get nominated because we are relatively small to some of these guys, and we're up against some big hitters. But listen, if we can get a nomination, that would be fantastic. And if we actually got on the podium, well, that would be even better, wouldn't it? So
100%.
Thanks for everybody taking their time out and voting for us. That's fantastic.
No, I appreciate that.
Charlie.
Thanks all so much, Charlie, Chaitanya, all the others that have said they voted. I much appreciate that. Thank you so much. If you could do that, we'll leave it on the screen so people have a chance to vote. I'm hearing, Lee, just completely different, changing the subject. As I came on, someone texted me. Then I got another message, and I've seen 4 in the chat that Brendan Rodgers has been sacked. Leicester. Don't know how true that is. Hasn't come up yet on my breaking news. Be surprised if that is the case because I thought that their owners were quite supportive of Brendan, and I know results haven't been going too great for him, but it's a strange one if that is happening. I don't know why he would do that now within first 3 games, but it looks like Leicester could have a real shocker of a season because I think Fofana wants out, Tielemans wants out. He was dropped yesterday. Maddison people are bidding for. There's only really Vardy they've got left who signed a new deal. So it'll be surprising if Brendan Rodgers is sacked. People are saying that he's getting sacked in the morning. I don't know, though. I'm not so sure. I haven't heard anything. Maybe they're all joking.
I haven't got nothing on my phone. Just looking at it now.
No, same. There's nothing I've seen either. But I thought I'd bring it up because everyone's talking about it in the chat. Let us know if people believe that to be true or if someone's having a laugh. Then fair play to you. I've fallen for it. Judges, let's talk a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about the game, mate. I was going to bring up what you did first. Let's forget about the game for now. Let's forget the individual performances and let's forget about the manager. Let's talk about the fans. I was there. Great weekend. Went out to see the family. Yeah, it was a stadium I've never been to before. You've been there. You've said it's a great one.
Yeah,
Thousands of us there, close to the pitch. Really, really small stadium, but in a really nice stadium as well. Really nice one. It weren't one of these sort of one you go to and you think, oh, crikey, this is. I really enjoyed it. One of my favourite away days that I've been to, I must say. And I got into the ground and the atmosphere was buzzing straight away. And I think it is, no matter where you are on the Arteta, Kroenke, Arsenal project at the moment, there's no denying that there's a connect between the fan base and the players. And that really has shown for me home, but more importantly, away. And I think the away fans yesterday deserve a lot of credit. I will go on to the songs in a minute. We'll talk about how great it was. But just the feeling around at the place at the moment feels a little bit different to me, judges. And I'll tell you why. I think the players that have been brought in have lifted everybody, not just the team and the manager, but the club. And I mean Saliba on that. I mean Gabriel Jesus, and I mean Zinchenko. The three of them, again, were outstanding yesterday. We're going to come into that. But that allows for these songs to come along. Jesus has got a song. Zinchenko's got a song. And now William Saliba's got a song. And I don't know about you, judges, but I haven't seen a team where I can go through most of the players and only have two or three of them that ain't got a song. Normally you have like two or three of your favourite players have a proper Arsenal song. We haven't had that for so long. You have to go back to like Highbury days when you knew everybody's song. Now, we're looking at songs for these players because it looks like there's a connect with the fans now. They're in love with these players. And when you look at the bench yesterday, you actually see some little bit of strength in depth. Still short, in my opinion, but a little bit of strength in depth. And I think that has a lot to do with how the fans are now feeling. I went in before the game to get a drink, saw Aaron Ramsdale's dad who was queuing up. Everybody's like coming over to him, swamping him sort of thing. I just stood back and let him get his drink first. Last thing I wanted to do was go out and can I get a picture, mate? And then he loses his place in the queue. So he got his drink. He went to the back. He started stirring. He only had a coffee. He started stirring his coffee with his missus. I spoke to them both. Wow, what amazing people. They are normal individuals. You would not meet a nicer couple. They're absolutely lovely. His mum is so nervous, so proud of him, absolutely loves everything about what he's doing. And I told him, look, he's going to get some stick, trust me, because he's a goalkeeper. I said, but everyone around here loves him. It's been a breath of fresh air to us as a goalkeeper, and I think he's done a great job. And she was just, I'm so glad you said that. She's really down to earth, really love him. And he was a true gentleman. He shook my hand, said, it's a pleasure to meet you. Thanks for talking to us. Thanks for making me feel welcome. He's sitting in the away end with the fans. You don't normally get stuff like that, And I said to him, you both come across so well on the documentary, and you could really see the passion and how nervous and how well you were into the games for Aaron Ramsdale himself and also for the club. And I saw him after the game, had a chat with him, and he said to me, that's the sort of game I want. I got a bit nervous, but I can take his goalkeeper clothes back to the sports shop and give it back to him, and they ain't been touched. And that's the sort of game I like. And I just laughed. I thought that's class, absolutely class. And it does seem to be a real good feeling around the club at the moment, Lee. It just seems different to me, mate.
Yeah, 100%. And the reason you just hit on the nail on the head there, we've got better players. The players that we've got now. When was the last time? Ken put up a great tweet. Red Ken, saying that I've been used to playing with defenders like Mustafi and people like that. We all of a sudden now we've got a proper back four, haven't we? A proper back four that can defend and enjoy defending, and they're actually going on and building a foundation for us to go on forward and all that. And you're right, we've got players now that we love. It's been a long time. There's been a few. Do you know what? There was a time when I actually, and I did say this, if going back to the old days in the 90s and everything like that, I would have walked across the M25 on rush hour if the players were over the other side, dodging cars to try and get to say hello and all that. 2 or 3 years ago and whatever, Dan, if they was out walking past my back garden, I'd close the curtains. I weren't that interested. You know what I mean?
I'm the same.
And that's how it really was. But now, you love to see him and all that. I met Aaron Ramsdale's dad when Liverpool away. When we were in the League Cup 0-0. Great, lovely fella, proud and everything like that. That's what you want to see. But what's great about it? That's the first time, Dan, 18 years we've got 3 wins on the trot. 18 years. Now, I'm not saying that's, it's hard. We're the only team after 3 games, by the way, that's got a 100% record. That just shows you how tough this league is now, But you ain't going to do this, Dan, without good defenders. And that is your platform. 2 away games now, 2 clean sheets. Unbelievable. And what it is the fans have got players that they can put their hat on and want to follow. Saliba is a likeable, but more importantly, a fantastic footballer. You know what I mean? Like, the girls are going to go crazy over Ben White. I actually fancy him, if I'll be honest. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I mean, he's a good-looking lad. You know what I mean? But also he's a decent player. Zinchenko been brilliant, absolutely brilliant yesterday. Like, you know, Gabriel, we was all going how great Gabriel was last season. Like, you know what I mean? He's probably not the best. He was probably our best defender last season. Now he's got to play really, really well to become the best defender in the
Quality,
team. It's fantastic. You know what I mean? That's what you really need. The creativity and the way the team's moving about and all that. Like watching it yesterday, Dan. You know, I know you're only playing Bournemouth and people go opposition and everything like that, but the movement. That's a professional football team that couldn't handle it. Like, you know what I mean? It could not handle it. Like, you know, old Dave's getting brave in the chat, and he like, you know, really behind the scenes here. Like, I tell you, but
Zinchenko,
Zinchenko, like, you know. So anyway, what I'm saying is that the movement and the pace of what they do it was incredible. Like, you know, Jesus yesterday. I'll tell you what, I watched just. I managed to just watch Match of the Day just before I come on, and you know, like, God, if that one's offside, so's the second goal. By the way, you know what I mean. There's nothing different in those 2 goals. I tell you, like, you know what I mean. But my word, did he deserve a goal, Dan? Did he deserve a goal?
Yeah.
Like, you know. So yeah, I'm with you on that. The fans have got. Listen, if you're an Arsenal fan, I'll tell you that you know. Unfortunately, I can't go on Saturday because I'm on holiday. But I bet you can't wait already to go.
Sure, you'll get over it, mate.
I'll get over it.
But yeah, no, I'm with you. I am with you. Joking aside,
I'm buzzing to watch the game on Saturday.
I'm buzzing for it because I'm buzzing for the next game, Lee, because the way we're playing at the moment is so enjoyable again. And I've really questioned, haven't I, in the last couple of years about our style of play and how boring it is to watch. And me and you have really struggled with some of the games, haven't we, in the last couple of years to go, you know? We've been like, oh, we have to go on weekend. And I don't really know if I fancy this one. I'm not confident. When you're winning, of course, things change. But it's not just about the winning. It's how we're playing as well. That's what I think is different. And I started to see a different style of play towards the back end of last season. And it all went to pot when everyone got injured. But I do think there's a real key style of play here. And I think Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko and Saliba have taken us to a new level. And I'm going to say this now, mate. I don't care what anyone says. You can say I've gone too early if you want. You can say I've lost my head. I think Saliba is going to be world class. I do. I've said it. I think Saliba is going to be a world-class centre-half. I've seen enough in pre-season and in the first 3 games to know your eyes don't lie to you, Lee. Yeah? No. Your eyes don't lie to you. And this is my honest opinion on why I think that about him and not Ben White. And it's simple. William Saliba is better. I'm sorry. I have not seen a young centre-half this good in a long, long time, mate. And I do believe, and yesterday, we'll come into his performance now, it was just astonishing, mate. Everything about him was astonishing. I'll read this out because I read it out on the stream earlier. I was stunned when I wasn't stunned, actually. I was amazed to see it, and it didn't surprise me so much, but it shocked me at how good they were. I knew he had a good game. I'm just going to read out his stats, right? Saliba's game by numbers against Bournemouth. 100% pass accuracy, right? 100% shot accuracy. 100% long ball accuracy. 83 touches. 75 passes completed. 5 possessions won. 2 clearances, 2 tackles, 2 interceptions, 2 duels won. 1 shot, 1 goal, and 1 new song, which I absolutely love, by the way. So I look at that performance, mate, and I just think this kid could be world class. And people might think I'm crazy. And have you seen him for 3 games? I've seen enough, mate, in France and in England to know this kid is special. He is the real deal, Lee.
See it in Orlando. I told you that, didn't I? What was I saying when we was going to Crystal Palace? Wait till you see him. I see him in Orlando, and I see him in pre-season, and I said he'd do for me. And I tell you what, he is a level above. I'm going to say it now, Ben White, but he's also a level above Gabriel. And Gabriel's a very, very good player. We you know, both of us really rate Gabriel, by the way. And because I rate Saliba, Matt, it doesn't mean I'm not saying that Gabriel's a good player. He is. I can tell you that now. Ben White's games. Yeah. Ben White's game's up. So, he had a very, very good game yesterday. What I've seen on
Very
the
good.
TV,
Very,
he
very
was
good
very,
yesterday.
very good yesterday. And listen, Kiefer Moore is one of those centre forwards, a bit like Andy Carroll, sort of, has caused us untold problems over the years. Peter Crouch sort of player, do you know what I mean? Like untold. Didn't cause us any problems yesterday. 2 years ago, he would have run all over us. He'd have
Mate, I
run
said
all
this
over
yesterday.
us.
I said this yesterday with Cecil, right? I said to him, they had Billing in the middle, who's about 6'5". They had Kiefer Moore, who looks about 6'8". He was absolutely massive because he's bigger than Saliba. How many times, Lee, over the last 10 years of the Arsenal sides, would Coquelin have done anything against him? Would Socrates, Schillaci, players like Torreira? We haven't had it before. We've got physical stature now, mate. We've got attributes and presence. We've got Party. Xhaka, to be fair to, had another good game yesterday and has a lot of, he's a bit of a hard man in the middle. Thomas Partey, obviously Gabriel, Saliba, Ben White, great shout. I thought he was brilliant yesterday at right back. A player I've said, over the years, he needs to, for me, prove to me why he's worth 50 million. I think he's had a really good start to the season. I can't lie. I do. I think he's been good at right back and deserves a lot of credit. And although he got skinned by Zaha in Palace, everybody gets skinned against Zaha. We saw it again last night on Match of the Day. Against Leicester, he was good. Yesterday, he was really good. So you're right, mate. It just that back line is looking good. And Tommy Yasu and Tierney still can't get in it, by the way. So I look at that.
But they might come into it when we play Man United. When
they will.
Can't be
they will come into it.
Expensive. That's the thing that's the beauty of having a good, strong squad. And at the end of the day, that is what you want. I don't care. I don't care if Tommy Yasu's not playing at the moment. I don't care if Tierney's not playing at the moment. It's about a squad, and these guys at the moment are playing well for the shirt. And that's what I'm seeing at this moment in time. I'm seeing some good performances. I will say this: I watched the documentary. I've only watched it up. I can't watch the last one, Dan, by the way, because
I've watched it all. Yeah, okay.
I just can't watch it. But eventually I will do. But I can't at this moment in time. And I'm convinced the reason that we lost the top 4 spot, nothing to do with Arteta, nothing to do with tactics and whatever. You could go down that route if it was. The fact of the matter is we got Partey and Tierney injured. And that was the reason we didn't get there, because we got injuries. And that is the one thing that's going to derail us this time again if we get injuries. So I'm hoping and praying that this board do not back down and get the players over the line. They need 2 players 100%. to really even let that run in. Another midfield player and another forward, and we are then set to push and push and push. I'm telling you that now. What I did enjoy about yesterday as well, that the chances when the other players come off, the other players come on, we still created chances. We still look good. The performance level didn't drop for the whole 90 minutes on that game. Oh, I didn't think so. I've only what I've watched, and I don't care. They're a Premier League side. There, they had one shot, which by a home team, which was going wide at the end of the day. We totally dominated that game, and we dominated that game because Zinchenko and Ben White come inside, got the ball inside, played sort of inverted right backs, and we controlled a game of football. You know what I mean? And for that, I'm gonna say it now. Mikel Arteta does deserve a little bit of credit. We've been, I'm on with a few gooners, as you well know, and they're very, very supportive of Arteta. And I've turned around and said, at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, and he's had very, very fortunate to be in his job, and you're gonna have to start now saying that this is credit to the board that they've kept him going and all that, But ultimately, as I will say this and say this again, these 5 games we're going to be playing, we've played 3 now, none of them will be in the top 10 at the end of the season. So let's not go overboard about it.
100%.
We've got these results, and we've got them very, very positively in the way I wanted to do it. Statement win that yesterday. Statement win 3-0. Great. Now go and do it against Fulham. By the way, I've just watched Fulham against Brentford. They're decent. That's going to be a tough game. They've got confidence through getting a draw against Liverpool, and that's going to be a tough game. But if we can get past that one, get past Villa, then we're going to take on Man United, and that will be the biggest test, because they're going to be a different animal in 2 weeks' time and what they're going to be now. But ultimately, we've got, I think, 16. Would you say 16 real good players at Arsenal now?
I
Like,
agree. We've got a squad of 16. We need a squad of 20, really. But I don't think we're going to get that.
So,
I think we need
I
three
think
more, in
we
my opinion.
probably need a couple more to really go in there. But look at Eddie. Eddie come on yesterday again. He comes on every time now, Eddie, and he's getting chances.
Eddie looks stronger to me. He still needs to sort his finishing out. I mean, he should have scored yesterday again. But
yeah, he should. I'm disappointed. Do you know what? I'm just going to go on that.
Really.
The one disappointment for me was that he didn't take that chance. He needs to bury that chance just to give him confidence going into other games, because he's going to play at times. You know what I mean? But what a level that Jesus has set. What a bar that boy has sent.
Oh, man. What a signing. What a signing, man. And the first goal, I said this earlier, Ben White kind of, I don't know what happened there, but it
was a miskick, wasn't it? He put it up in the air.
It miskicked it, up in the air. Now, when you're looking at that centre half, you're thinking, got Jesus, 5'9", and he just rolls him, and then he takes it round one, then takes it round another, and then flicks it through to Martinelli, and then he has a shot, and then Odegaard's there in the right place, which we'll come on to in a minute. But I look at what Jesus is doing at the moment, Lee, and I was really impressed with Alexis Sanchez when he first came to Arsenal. Jesus is has had a better start than Sanchez has had at Arsenal, in my opinion. Now, I love Sanchez, and he's my Emirates, best Emirates era player for me is Sanchez. But when I look at what Jesus is doing, I think he's better than what Sanchez started. So what could this guy do? He's everything that we've needed in the number 9 position for a while. He's the only player that Arteta's been able to get anything out of in the front positions, because he ain't been able to get anything out of the others. And that's just for pure quality for me. I've been really, really impressed. But just before we move on to him, I want to just lastly touch on Saliba, because everyone, disclaimer in the chat, negative Nigel, Dan's back. Yeah, negative again, I get it. But I think this is really important to bring up. If Saliba's in the team last season, for me, we have a much better chance of getting top 4. I don't care anybody says, Rob Holding, all that stuff that come in. We have a much better chance if Saliba's there. Now, people will say he needed those loan moves, and maybe he did. I don't know. I didn't watch him at St Etienne. I didn't watch much of him at Nice. I watched him at Marseille and knew he was good enough definitely last season. When he's come in the last 3 games here, he's proved and been pre-season that he's good enough. Now, it might be a masterstroke, as some people see, but I don't care what people tell me. He's bloody ready. He ain't been ready for 3 games this season. He's been ready for a long time, I can tell. That boy can play. So I think it was a mistake, personally. I think I'd fine for the first couple of years. I think he needs to come into the team last season and we would have got top 4. And I think that is a mistake. I'm just going to put it out there. I think that we would have had a much better opportunity last season with Saliba at the back than Rob Holding. And Rob Holding, I will say this now, has come across very well in a documentary in parts of it. I really like some of the stuff he's been saying and how he comes across just as a person. I think some of it is a little bit for show, and I think some of it's a bit kiss-arsey, I ain't going to lie. But I think he comes across quite nicely, and so do some of the players. But when I look at what Saliba could do last season and what he's done this season, I'm not so sure it's a masterstroke, send him out on loan for 3 whole seasons. I just don't know what your thoughts are about that, Lee.
Well, do you know, whether it's a masterstroke or not, I've never been against it. As I've always said, I've never been against it. The only thing that I think Arsenal got wrong was when he could have played those Europa League games a couple of seasons ago, and they didn't do that, and that was a ridiculous decision. You know what I mean? I don't really know what happened there, but for me, I felt that he's needed that loan, and all what you're seeing now is of what's gone on with Marseille. He's probably made mistakes at Marseille, learning his game and all that, but he's had that year of playing a team that, by the way, that was up there and thereabouts in the league and all that, playing against top class players as well. You know, like that he's had to play against. You know, like PSG and things like that. And I just think that he's just learnt his trade and he's just come back to Arsenal, 21 years of age. I don't know that many central defenders that are 21 and have been smashing it. You know what I mean, in the Premier League. So I don't think it's been a bad thing, if I'll be honest. Whether it's a masterstroke like that, I don't know. Because if it was a masterstroke, I don't see why you went and bought Ben White for £50 million. I honestly don't think. I think they thought he was good, Saliba. I don't think they thought he was as good as what he is. And I think that just like what we have been, they've been blown away with how good he is when they've seen him in training. And they thought, my God, you know what I mean? Like, this is the real deal. Because if you as a manager and you see what I've seen, I'll be thinking, my God, I can't wait to get him in my team. Like, you know what I mean? You know, you think to yourself, really, why go and spend over the price for Ben White? If they've got Ben White for 20, 25 million, I can understand, but they pay right over the odds for Ben White. And let's be honest, Dan, not to play right back where he's playing at the moment. You know what I mean? And he's doing a very, very good job there. So I honestly think they thought he was good, but I don't think. I think if you sat down with Edu and more so Mikel Arteta, he's probably thought. I thought he was going to be good, but not this good. Not this good. You know what I mean?
That's what worries me there, and I will. This is the last one I want to say now. I think Lee Gunner has put something in the chat, which is basically what I was going to say. What worries me there is Saliba, he ain't quite ready, but we had Kolasinac, Mustafi, Socrates, Holding, and Chambers. So like, it's like if he ain't better than them, oh, here it is. Here it is. There you go. There you go. Dave's put it up. That for me, that is spot on for me. So when you look at that, and you might think Saliba's not quite ready. He's got to be better than that. He's got to be better than them.
What I will say that, but if he was 19 and making the mistakes, people wouldn't be getting onto his back at 19, going, "Oh look, he's making a mistake here and all that." He might have been making mistakes at Marseille, and we ain't seeing them. And he's come in now as a real deal. He might have been making mistakes like Mustafi, might making mistakes like Holding. You know what I mean?
He would have joined the club with them lot, then, wouldn't he?
Too and tight and all. Yeah, but so I'd rather see him make those mistakes at Marseille and become a better player. Like, you know, like the Fofana one and all that. Like, you know, 80 million proof you don't need a loan. Listen, Leicester City are a different animal to Arsenal. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. You can go and play for Leicester under a lot less pressure than what you're playing at Arsenal. I don't care what anybody turns around and says. There is a different pressure when you play for Manchester United, Arsenal, Liverpool. There is a complete different pressure to when you're playing someone like Leicester. And at the end of the day, why compare Fofana to Saliba? I look at both players. They're different players. Who's progressed better now? You know what I mean? Who's the better player out of the two now? Like, you know, so
obviously because they're both at Zanetti and weren't they? But I think
I get that. You know,
but
at the end of the day, you know, I think Fofana's a better player. But look what he was like last week against Martinelli. Got destroyed. You know what I mean? So listen, I think that listen also with Fofana, which is another thing. I think didn't he had a serious injury last season or whatever, like, you know what I mean, playing in the Premier League, maybe playing in the Premier League too early, physically not quite ready for it, gets a big injury, you know what I mean, why Saliba's been playing in a not so harder league, getting minutes under his legs. There's many reasons, you know what I mean, at the end of the day, whether I don't think it's a rod to bash the managers back on this. Either way, I can see why people
I'm not doing that. I just thought.
No, I know you're not. I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean. I think you can. I get what
you can look at it both ways.
I don't think you should be saying it's a masterclass. I don't think it's a masterclass.
No. I agree. I don't. You can look at it both ways, 100%, and that's why I brought it up. Let's talk about Zinchenko. Listen. I was really impressed with him against Leicester, and I thought he was exceptional yesterday. Everything Zinchenko did was so good in terms of his composure, his distribution, the understanding and the intelligence of when to go and when not to. There was a brilliant bit of play where he was really under pressure and he just completely calmed it and killed the game. Absolutely exceptional. I really like this guy. And what was even funnier was the fact that Tierney had come on and actually played left wing. I don't know what was happening there, but he come on in front of him. Now, that is, to me, Mikel Arteta saying, look, like, I love you, Kieran, but I can't drop this kid at the moment because he's playing so well. Now, I would have said at the start of the season, Kieran Tierney is the guy that I wanted there at left back. But because of his injury and because he's coming back from injury, Zinchenko's been playing there, and he has been playing well. I can't sit there and say that he hasn't been. Yesterday, I thought he was so good. Like, he was one of the ones for me that I would have given a potential man of the match to Zinchenko. I thought he was really, really good, along with Saliba and Jesus. And I just wanted to get your thoughts on the player, the signing, and what you think we can do with this kid, mate.
Well, I just think at this moment in time, like, a couple of things. We'll talk about Jesus in a minute, but let's just talk about Zinchenko at the moment, like, because he's going to go on to Jesus and all that. Like, where I can't remember someone coming into the Arsenal team and being so comfortable, like he's been playing for Arsenal for 2 or 3 years. He's just come in halfway through pre-season. You know, when you say, "Oh, you need to play pre-season," he come in. I think his first game was Chelsea in Orlando. He's come in on a plane from Manchester City's training camp into Arsenal's training camp in America, and he's just settled in like he's been at Arsenal for years. And the way he plays, the way like he's picked it up, and the way the team play, they play a lot through him. I thought that yesterday, watching it yesterday, and just watching the highlights of it today. A lot of our play goes through him. So we get control of it. Like, you know, what a sensational signing! I've got to say that. Like, I hate to say all 3 new signs because Saliba is not really a sign, but you know what I mean. All 3 have come into the team and have not just took it up 1 level, Dan. They've took it up 3 or 4 levels, and he is one of them. Like, you know what I mean. I do believe he could play as a wing back, a wide left player, or a midfielder. I just think he's comfortable wherever he goes. And what I liked about him yesterday, and I don't know if you noticed it, he got himself on the sort of right back position at one time. That was when he made that lovely little turn and comfortable there. There was another time when he's had to make a header, and the ball's come across. He's cushioned the header and got it down and got us playing again. He's not just headed it out, or you know, everything he does is with a purpose to get us on the front foot going again. Like, you know, I think he's been sensational, and I think really the only reason we're not going mad about him, if I'll be honest, Dan, is because like Saliba and Jesus
have been so good. Yeah, you're right, mate. 100% you are, and I think that when we signed him, a lot of people thought that we were going to get that Martinez, and from what I've seen, we've got the better deal, mate. I tell you that now. Like, I just honestly, like, it really does make me realise how good that piece of business was, and the fact that he's quite versatile is obviously good because you need versatile players, and always like a versatile player. But actually, every time I've seen him on the ball, he just looks comfortable, and I think the best thing you've said there is how well he's settled in, because. You know, when people say, "Oh, he'll be a good player, he just needs a couple of games, or he just needs a few weeks or a few months." When you got a world-class player, or an elite player, or a great signing, they don't need any time. They just come in and they've settled in, and that's exactly what the 3 of them have done. And I think it looks to me as if they've been there for 4 years, not four games. It really is exceptional what you're saying. I want to bring out a couple of players before we do move on. I want to talk about. Martin Odegaard, because I think with Jesus, you know, we know how great he was, and yesterday he was exceptional again. I think he raises the game. Martin Odegaard, everyone thinks I'm harsh on him. Maybe I am harsh on him. Maybe I demand too much from him, but I need to see goals from him. And yesterday he delivered. He got 2 goals, 3 and 2. That'll do me, and if it continues, I'll be happy. And I am putting pressure on him, but actually, I thought he played pretty well. I thought he kept things ticking. I thought he was instrumental in parts of play. And I know Bournemouth aren't great, and people will say it was only Bournemouth, but credit where credit's due. I thought he was decent, and he got the 2 goals. Do you have the faith, though, Lee, that Martin Odegaard can do this? And I hate to compare players, but the reason I'm going to is because I'm going to compare him to a player I really wanted at Arsenal. It's James Maddison, who scored again yesterday. And I do look at those 2 players, and I think that's the level I want. So that's what I'm going to be looking at this season, is James Maddison. That's the one I wanted. Everyone said, no, Odegaard's better. Prove it. Go and score what James Maddison does, and go and get the goals that he does. And I just wanted to know your thoughts on a player, and if you think he can get sort of 10 to 15 goals this season.
Well, I at this moment in time, I would probably say that Maddison probably looks like more likely to get the more goals, because I think he's a great player, good player, and everything like that. But I'll be honest with you, has Odegaard done any different to what he's done in the last couple of games? I don't think so. The only difference is, Dan, he scored a couple of goals. I think his performances have been. I didn't think his performance was that much different to the one last week and the one against Crystal Palace. The difference being is he's banged in a couple of goals this time. I think he's neat and tight. He starts up. What I will say about him, his work rate is sensational. I've got to say that.
Fair play.
And I'm not criticising Maddison, because when I see Maddison at the Emirates last week, his work rate was superb as well. Like, you know, but what I want from a flair player is a flair player that's prepared to put in the hard yards, and we've been used to flair players not doing that. And this is a flair player that comes in and puts in the hard work. You just said it there. 2 goals in 3 games. You know what I mean? Like, stats sometimes can be a little bit. I don't think he's done that much in the, as I say, difference between that game and that. I don't think he's going to be. If I'll be honest, how can I put it? As pleasant on the eye as Maddison, if you know what I mean. Like, but I do think that he's going to get his quota of goals for us and that. And do you know what? I think he should do with what I'm seeing now with the movement. I can understand it a little bit last season that his stats weren't as good and all that, but I don't think. I think he's got to get those stats up to that, like with the movement and the way we're playing, with the pace of Martinelli and the movement of all those guys up front. I think that he will do. I will say this: out of the 2 of them, Odegaard and Saka have not hit the levels of the other 2 at the moment, in Jesus and Martinelli. Imagine if they do, Dan. Imagine if they do.
Do you know what's great, Lee? Do you know what's great? Everyone's saying, and they're not being harsh when they say it, they're actually talking facts, that Saka's been quiet in the first few games.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I want Saka to be great the whole time, by his standards. But do you know what? I want Saka to be great all the time. But isn't it quite refreshing that it isn't all on his shoulders now? Because he's carried that team the last 2 years. He has.
He shouldn't be carrying it. Listen, that's what I'm saying. He's 20 years of age, coming up 21 in September.
Yeah,
we shouldn't be relying on him. What he should be now, it should be Jesus. It should be Odegaard, more so than him and Martinelli, and then learning their trade and all that. I think this is going to be a good thing where the pressure's a little bit off Saka. When it matters, you watch Saka do the business. But I do think that he's been a little bit not underwhelming. It's just that he's playing okay, but the others are playing there at the moment, like, you know what I mean. So hopefully it will push him in there. But I think the same with Odegaard. I felt Odegaard didn't do no different to the game against Leicester. What he's done, bashed in 2 goals. One of them that you've got to give him credit for. He's there in the right place. He's not not ball watched. He's gone into the area and it'll tap in. And the second goal, I don't know whether Jesus would have scored it or not.
But
he took it off him. But what sensation!
It's good. He buried it. That's the main thing, man. He's buried it. And I don't think he's out of order for me to demand double figures from Odegaard. I just don't think that's out of order. Right?
I think that he's got. I think that all 4 of them have got to get into double figures. I know, like Saka has done it for the last couple of seasons. Saka's got 10 goals last season. He's got to get
Smith Rowe as well.
Smith Rowe as well. Smith Rowe will probably,
he got 10 last year
from off the bench, but he's going to have to contribute as well. But if these guys can get 10, 10s, 10s, and then 20 from Jesus, we're going to be there and thereabouts. So I think you're right to put a bit of pressure on him, like, you know what I mean. And I think you're right to do that.
I like Odegaard as well. I like Odegaard. A lot of people.
I like his attitude.
Because I'm putting pressure on him. I put pressure on him to get double figures, and people think I hate him. I don't hate him. People in the chat are saying, "Like, get off his case." I'm not on his case. I'm just saying I demand 10 goals from him. That's all I'm saying. And if he's going to deliver that, then cool, because I think he's a good player, technically gifted, drives us forward, instrumental in midfield at times. But I really do need to see that improve, because 4 goals and 7 assists, I think it was last year or something like that. That ain't good. Ain't good enough for me. So we need to get bigger, better than that, don't we? Let's talk about your mate last, Granit Xhaka, because he's playing a different position now, Lee, and I like it. And I'm going to tell you why I like it. There's 2 reasons why I like it. One, because he's playing well, and he is, and I don't really like him. And I will always, and I say it now, I'll always find it hard to like Granit Xhaka after what happened at Palace. Don't want to go over it again. That is why I'll find it hard. I know you differ and you like him. I get it. But I'll always find it hard. And people just need to accept that. But what people also need to accept is that he's playing well. Because he is. And I'll tell you why I like this new position, Lee. Because if he makes mistakes, which he does, people will say he doesn't. He's been absolute perfection. He ain't. He's made some bad passes. But actually, when he delivers a bad pass now, Granit Xhaka, he's got Partey behind him. He's got Gabriel behind him. He's got Saliba behind him. Now, when he was making them before and he was playing defensive mid, it was leading to goals, errors to goals, because he was the last man half the time, because he was in front of Socrates and Mustafi. So now we've got some padding around him, if that makes sense. And I
Yeah.
do think what I'm seeing, I know you shouldn't have players in a team like that. I get it. We need an upgrade. I stand by it. But he is playing well. He's higher up the pitch. And I think he's actually looked quite good, Lee. So that's credit for me. And you know what I think of him. You know what I think of Granit Xhaka. I can't sit there and say he's playing bad at the moment, no. I think he's doing all right, mate.
No, he is. He's playing very well. Played well again yesterday. Created one of the goals, didn't he? What I like, I will say this about him. I do like that thing that you can't take liberties with him. I still think that's a good trait. I think you're dead right what you're saying. Partey is a contributing factor why he's doing well, because he's got that little safety net, that little insurance there for him. By the way, so, don't take take it for granted. Partey takes the ball in difficult positions, makes it look easy. It's not. You know what I mean? He takes the ball under pressure. If he loses that ball, he's in we're in a lot of trouble. But Partey does it there, and I think that what we've got to do now is just keep going. Partey now is in a position where he's had 3 or 4 games now where he's going to be on the top of his game, and he's got to go through that now and make sure that he stays fit and we get the best out of him. But I think they're a good double act. You know what I mean? Like it's Ant and Deck, isn't it? Like, Morecambe and Wise. It's the sort of thing like that. Like, you know what I mean? These two are here. Like, you know what I mean? You've got
Lee Judges and Dan Potts. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Dan Potts, Lee Judges. One not good enough without the other. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like when they go, they go on their own. They're not, a bit like Wham, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? Like George Michael and. Originally, I think put them together, and they're good. But I do think that when Partey's not there, Granit Xhaka's not quite as good. I've got to say that, But I think they just work in tandem as a good partnership. And for me, at this moment in time, Granit Xhaka is playing as well as anybody in midfield. And he's never going to be loved, Dan. I think we've got to accept that. Me and Robbie were talking about it on a show the other day. He's never going to be loved because there are fans that are not going to forgive him. They're not. And I get that. And do you know what? And I probably understands that as well. But what he is doing is he's contributing to the team's success at the moment, and that's all you can ask for. He's an important cog in the wheel, and it's turning in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And I will say this about one other player, Ramsdale, yesterday. I was really worried after having a chat with his family that he was going to do some silly stuff that we see against Leicester and Palace, but actually he kept his head and made a couple of quite good saves yesterday. And I really like Ramsdale. I really like a lot about him, and I just want him to keep his head because there's a good goalkeeper there, 100%. Lee, let's talk about your honest opinion lastly about the transfer window still being open, mate, and where you still think we're short and what you think is going to happen, because I still think it's clear to see that we've got about 16 players. I think we need 25, but obviously that's not going to happen. You need 25 if you want to go in for all competitions, or at least 20. I think in an ideal world, I'd like a backup right back, another forward, a winger, a centre midfielder, and a number 8. That ain't going to happen. That's 5. So we ain't going to get that, right? So where do we think is a priority for you in the coming weeks, mate?
Well, I still think in that midfield. I think that if anything happens to Partey, we're in trouble. Anything happens to Xhaka, we're in trouble. I think we could get away with it for 1 or 2 games if one was injured or suspended for 1 or 2 games, i.e. El Neni. But I think if he was to go in the course of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games, we're in trouble. So I think that's got to be addressed. When I look at it, the left side of the defence was addressed, has been addressed in this summer, and look at it now. You know what I mean? Like, we've not addressed that side of it, and I do think that we need one more up front, whether it be a wide player or someone that can play up front. Notice that Eddie Cameron
across the front 3 sort of thing, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I get the feeling that. And I'm not saying it is. Jesus could play on the right, play on the left at some sort of stage, but he is so good down the middle now that I don't think that we want to, So him and Eddie will be the sufficient 2 there. I would then think maybe another wide player coming in that can play either right or left as well. Because look, I think that if anything was to happen to Martinelli or Saka, they can swap over. You've got Smith Rowe that can come into that position as well. But the only other thing that maybe they won't go for that and see it as a priority is because Vieira played that position, didn't he, in the under 23s the other day, or was he under 21s? I think it was the under 23s. Yeah. So I don't really know, but I think if Arsenal do not sign a midfield player, I will be really disappointed because you know what? They've learnt their lessons on everything. All their mistakes that they've made in the farm, not being ready, getting players ready, doing this, doing that, getting the pre-season done, manager making the right decisions now and everything like that. If they do not get that midfield player, it still will leave a big question mark that we've not got the ambition to really, really go on. You know, I mean, I think we've got a real good opportunity of nailing top 4 this season. Maybe even higher down. I'm not saying anything at this moment in time, but what I'm seeing that there's other teams are finding it very, very difficult. Manchester City today, but credit for them at the end. You know what I mean? But they could have lost that game today. If we don't get it, I just feel it's a missed opportunity. I really do, and hopefully they do. I do think they will get in one. People keep, I'm hearing rumours of 2. That would be really good if they could get in 1 or 2. I honestly think if Arsenal were to nail 2 more players, Dan, I think we could, not saying virtually guarantee top 4 because you know what I'm saying, but I think that we could.
We'll have a great time.
We could be up in the stakes to try and get even higher than top 4. I don't think we should be aiming for top 4, by the way, at this moment in time. The way we're playing, the way we've got everything going, we should be trying to think, well, let's see if we can challenge Man City. And if we can challenge Manchester City, if we don't win that battle, which I'm pretty sure we won't, but it might be that we're all of a sudden we found ourselves in 2nd or 3rd, and guaranteeing ourselves Champions League.
You aim high, and if you fail, you're only coming 2nd, 3rd. That's what you're saying, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm with you.
Exactly that. Exactly.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, mate. And I look at where we're still short, and I look at players out there, and one player, I'm going to say this now, man. One player that I was really impressed with last season that I didn't want at the time because I thought we could do better, and I've seen him again these first 3 games. I'll go and get Ivan Toney now. I would. I've seen enough from him to know that he's better than Eddie Nketiah, and he would come in and do a job. Now, when we're looking at bringing Eddie on and we're all saying, he's a bit better, he's got stronger, he's got intensity, he's running, he brings energy. Ivan Toney does all those things, and what else does he do, Lee? Scores
goals, yeah.
For me, that would be a really good signing. I would go and get him now. And people will say it costs a lot of money. Yeah, it might do. But I think he'd be quality. And they're talking about potentially Newcastle getting in with him and Callum Wilson. Newcastle today looking very good, by the way.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a really good option. Tielemans was dropped yesterday. A lot of people are saying that might not happen until a free transfer now. But if Rodgers is getting sacked, then things could change. And he may be on his way to Arsenal. Let's see. But I still don't think that addresses the defensive midfield option. I'd like to get in somebody like Ibrahim Sangare from PSV, who's a monster in there, a beast, somebody who can come in and do what Thomas Partey does, not Lokonga or Elneny, who I do a job for a couple of days, but that's about it. So I need to look at that, to be fair. So yeah, they're the places I think we're short, and there's some options I think we can go with. With Marquinhos, just quick, he scored 3 and 3 in the games that he's played, and from what Arteta is saying, he's going to be in and around the squad. Pepe looks to be going back to France if rumours are true, so maybe Marquinhos will come in and be that replacement. I don't know. Haven't seen enough about him. Vieira can play wide. Haven't seen enough about him, so it's a bit of a risk there. But having said that, Lee, I said that about Tomiyasu and Ramsdale, and they come in and have been good. So we'll have to see with those players before we judge them. But certainly, mate, for me, the forward and the centre midfield ain't quite ready yet, in my opinion, in terms of squad depth. But as the first 11 goes, I'm actually pretty happy, Lee, to be fair. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, listen, we wouldn't win the league with that 11, but we'd really push it. We'd really push it, you know what I mean? But the league, that, you ain't going to win the league with 11 players. There's tiredness and things like that. I'm very, very excited about our 11. I'm very, very excited about the front 3, which is going to get better and better in the next couple of years, if I'll be honest. But it's about the squad. You look at Manchester City and you think they've got players that can come on and change things and do this and do that. But, it's very, very hard to judge at this moment what's going to happen and everything like that. I looked at Chelsea last week and I thought, I've got that wrong about Chelsea. I think that they are going to really be pushing for it. They've got stuff today. You know what I mean? Like you just don't know. You know what I mean? Were they that great last week, or were Spurs that great last week to get a point and whatever? And I watched them struggle against. Well, I didn't watch it, but I heard that they struggled against Wolves. We don't really know, Dan, and that's the thing at this moment in time. It is all very, very early. But all I know is that Arsenal, if they carry on doing what they're doing with the players we've got, like we're going to be enjoying our season, and that's the main thing, like, you know. So the club, of what they've got to do is realise that if there is going to be some injuries, we've got sufficient backup in going there. And I can tell you this now: Liverpool are struggling, Dan, because they've not got sufficient backup for the players that they've got injured. You know what I mean? And that could be at the end of the day that costs them another year. You know, so you know, squad depth is very, very important.
It is massively important, mate. And listen, the way I see things in the first 3 games, Arsenal obviously look strong. Manchester City definitely do as well. Today, coming back from 3-1 down at a very tough place to go, as we found out last season, proves they've still got quality. Liverpool are definitely in a title race still. Stand by it. Yes, they've got 4 injuries to big players at the moment, and they're struggling. But I honestly believe that they will be in a title race. Tottenham, Conte knows how to get points, don't he? He did it against Chelsea. They didn't look great. They didn't look fantastic. They were much better in the second half against Wolves. But first half, they were shocking. But he knows how to get 3 points. So they're going to be in and around the mix, mate. And then you look at what Chelsea, Man United, West Ham are all doing at the moment, and that's struggling. The window's still open. I expect all 3 of them to take more points. But I would actually say that Newcastle and Leeds and Brighton are looking stronger than those 3 at the moment. So it's
big up to Brighton, by the way. Big up.
Can I just say, mate? I'm sorry. Can I just say, this guy does not get enough credit, you know.
No,
this Graham Potter guy is unreal, mate. Like, they've got rid of Kukurea and Bissouma now, as well as the Ben Whites and the others they got rid of before. And he wouldn't know. This absolute class.
It's incredible. And I'll tell you this now, like, you know, we're all pleased with our 2 away wins at this moment in time. We're very, very pleased to have beaten Crystal Palace and Bournemouth away. They've got 2 away wins, right? They drew Newcastle at home, which was obviously like a little bit of a good result, but a little bit disappointed. Might be disappointed. They've won at Manchester United and they've won at West Ham. They're 2 away games. By the way, can I just say, all credit to them. Well, that is unbelievable. That is. So all credit to them. They're, you know, he's a terrific manager, and I think that it ain't going to be like, you know, when I look at Man United and they went for Ten Hag, I would have gone for him. They've actually got someone in the Premier League that knows what he's doing, to someone that's been in a different league and all that. Like, but is it because his name's Graham Potter? I don't know. You know what I mean? I've been more than impressed with him, Dan. Like, you know what I mean? And they just keep
man.
Rolling it on.
And I tell you what, if any of the managers that are, in my opinion, better than Brighton, which won't be that many, then they will be going for Graham Potter. Lee Gunner's got a question for you here, Judge. Question for the Judge: how much more money, transfer windows, and years until you expect to challenge till the death for a title? That's a good question, to be fair.
It is a good question. You know what I mean? You can say that about a lot of teams at this moment in time. I don't think that Arsenal will challenge for a title. They're never going. I don't think we're going to win a title because Manchester City are just too good. I think, you know, I do that. I honestly think that. I think Arsenal will challenge this season. I think they're challenged. I think they'll be up there this season, but they won't. Ultimately, they'll fall short of it. You know, Liverpool have challenged for the title for the last 3 years, and have lost it as well. Like, you know what I mean? So, I don't think there's any. I think what I would say to that, Lee, is that I don't think there's no more. I think this is it now. I think that at the end of this transfer window, that's it for me. Like, I think that if this transfer window closes and he hasn't got the midfield player and all that, that's down on him. It's down on him on they do. They've made that decision. They've blown a January transfer window, if I'll be honest. They can't blow this one. So if they don't and they fall short of it again, I think they come under pressure, and that's my thing on it. Like, you know, no more excuses for them. No more excuses.
No more excuses. Absolutely, yeah, I'm 100% with you there. And yeah, let's do some super chats, mate. This one's from Brian. Thanks for the super chat, bro. As much as we want to banter Man United, he says, if we're actually aiming for the top two, shouldn't we be open for a draw tomorrow? What do you want the result to be tomorrow, mate? Man United.
Oh,
Liverpool.
that's a good question. Listen, I'm going to say it now. Manchester United have signed a wonderful midfield player. They've spent a lot of money over the odds on him, but Casemiro is a top player. Ask Dave that what he thinks about him. You know what I mean? He's a quality player. But I think Manchester United are going to be a different animal at this moment in time. Listen, let's have it. Yeah. I want it to be a draw tomorrow. Both teams drop 2 points.
So I'm with you. I want it to be a draw as well, because that means they both drop points, which is great in my opinion. That's why I wasn't too annoyed that Tottenham got the last minute winner, because they both dropped points. So it's fine by me, because they're all going to be competition at the end of the day. I still think they will be. So I look at that and think Liverpool and United, as dross as Man United are, they'll get it together. Liverpool, as dross as they've been in the first two, they'll get it together too. So if they can both drop points, I'll be happy as far as I'm concerned. As for Casemiro, I know they've gone for Ten Hag. They've gone for De Jong. They've now got Casemiro. Let's see what he does. That's all I'm saying. Let's see what he does. Is he 31? So he's not going to be a long-term future player. I don't see any plan at Man United at all. They're just buying random players, just literally going, he'll do. That's the next one. There's no, I don't get it. It's mad. The game says Zinchenko is an unreal option to have. Very underrated. Big up your super chat, mate. Totally agree with you. EBB says, I think the loan at Marseille was perfect for Saliba. I guess he's talking about, honestly, how he's already read where the ball is going 10 seconds before it comes to him is insane. I honestly stand by it. I think this defender will be world class. I stand by it. I'm going to say it. I don't care. If I'm wrong. But that's what I've seen so far to know this guy is ridiculous. VJ, thanks for your super chat. It says Saliba had close to 50 starts last year with Marseille, and Holding had less than 15. He's miles above and amazing right now to get a great degree because of Marseille. A lot of people saying, Lee, that they think the Marseille loan was a great thing to do. So there we go.
I think that's right. I still think it is there. 50 games he's had, like, you know what I mean? 50 games of experience, you know what I mean? He comes in here. You know, listen, he's a level above. As we said, I think he's a level above Ben White and Gabriel, so he's going to be a few levels above Rob Holding. But you still need the likes of Rob Holding and El Neni in to be squad players. You know what I mean? If, you know, that comes in for the odd game, and certainly we're going to need those sort of players for the Europa League, giving the likes of Saliba, Gabriel a rest and not going to those games. So they've got important roles to play for the long-term gain, if you see what I'm saying. So, but yeah, you know, listen, I think that's a great point we made there. He reads the game really well, which is, but he's got the pace as well. So he's not relying on his pace. He's got his brain first and foremost. But if he was to get caught out, then he's got his pace. But his pace is not his first thing. I can, do you know when I know I can get there because of my pace? He doesn't play with his thinking of his pace. He actually plays the game thinking about his defending before he uses his pace, which is is a blessing to have.
It absolutely is, mate. We'll have to do another poll on the next show. Who's got the better songs, Zinchenko or Saliba? Because they're both quality, I must admit. I like Saliba, man. I can't lie. I thought it was quality yesterday. Whoever's come up with that, is absolutely brilliant. It's absolute quality, that. You know, who's thought of that? You know, that's very clever.
Who actually thought of it, like, because, you know, weren't doing none of the rounds on Twitter or anything like that, like, you know. The Jesus song's very good, by the way, and I actually think with the Jesus song, maybe it's a little bit too hard to, you know, when you've all had a few beers to remember it and sing it and all that, like, you know. But you know, what song was they singing with Jesus? Was it the you know, the Giroud one? Or
they say it walks on water. It turns into wine. Yeah. I believe in Jesus, the Arsenal number 9. Obviously, the Lee Gunner, the Super Mick had no contest.
Listen, we've actually both said that the Mikel Arteta song is a fantastic song. it's a fantastic song if they sing, Premier League.
Exactly.
Instead of
That is exactly right.
we both
We're going to
said
win
that.
the Premier League, 100%.
Yeah.
We got Super Mark Arteta, we got Saliba at the back, Gabby in attack, and we're on our way to win the Premier League. I'm not singing a song about coming fourth. I'm sorry.
No,
I've got
I'm
nothing
with you on
against
that.
it. If anyone
We
else wants
both
to sing
agree
it,
with that. Like,
I am not singing it.
change it to
we're going to
Premier
come
League.
fourth.
If you've got the bottle to do it, let's change it to the Premier League, and it's a fantastic song.
Mate. If that wants to stay,
yeah. See, I'm
agreeing
with the one before Lee just come on there saying I do think there's too many words to that Jesus song when you've had a few beers and all that. Like, have you ever sung it, Dan?
No, I never sung it. The only thing I ever did was when I was at Villa. Remember Villa away, and I went like that because I didn't understand what the words were. And then I realised it said we are going for a Champions League, and that was when I lost my head. And then it went viral, and everyone had a go at me because I shouldn't be having a go at the fans. But I honestly, I couldn't believe we were singing a song about coming fourth. I never in my life thought I would ever sing a song about coming fourth in the league.
Oh, I'm with you on that. I've said that.
Everyone was.
Change it. Add the bottle to change it to the Premier League, and I will sing it.
100%, mate.
I will sing it, but I'm not singing it about Champions League, and particularly when when we did sing it, we ended up coming fifth. I'm going to say it is a good song. I do like it because it's got the clap and it's got a very, very good thing going to it, and it makes the atmosphere great. But please put Premier League in it, and it'll be a lot better. So hopefully we get to the Champions League this season, and then next season we'll be singing that.
Yeah, what is actually going to happen though? What are they going to sing next? Are they going to sing that? Are the Arsenal fans going to be able to sing? If we get Champions League this year,
sing it, Dan. I think they're always going to sing with the Champions League. I'm not happy with that, as you aren't know that. We agree with that, So let's hope that happens.
Let's hope it happens indeed. Guys, thanks so much for all your support. Massive respect to you all. Please smash a like. There's been well over 1,000 of you watching live. That's absolutely brilliant. You lot are mad. Thanks so much for supporting the channel. If you could do one thing further for us, we are going in for the Football Content Awards. If you can follow the link below. And please vote for us under Best New Content Creator. We're going to put ourselves in. If you can nominate us, we have a chance of winning something to say a huge thank you to everybody as well, but also to support us would be fantastic. I really appreciate all of you. Thank you all for your interaction in the chat. If you can do that for us as well as hitting a like and subscribe, that would be fantastic. And if you can support my new content, that would be fantastic. Also on my new channel, which is Football's 12th Man Podcast as well, I would appreciate it. I'm on the road to 5K people. So come and help me support that. That would be amazing. Arsenal content, but also Premier League content as well. Thank you all so much. You've been a pleasure. Lee, enjoy your holiday, mate. When'd you come back?
No worries. Cheers, Dan, and I'll talk to you in the week. And let's hope we're still buzzing this time next week as well,
I hope so, man. I hope so. Enjoy yourselves, people. We'll be back very, very soon. And as ever, up the Arsenal.